Welcome back, everybody, to our second day of lessons about George and the dragon. I don't know about you, but I can't wait to find out what George is terrified of. What is the dragon's name, George, at all? We're about to find out. So, George and the dragon. Far, far away in the high, high mountains, in a deep, deep valley, in a dark, dark cave, there lived a mighty dragon. Here he is, he does look pretty mighty. He could fly higher than the clouds and faster than all the birds. Wow. He could burn down a forest with a blast of his fiery breath. He could smash a castle wall with a flick of his mighty tail. And he could brush away an army with a sweep of his monstrous wing. He does sound pretty terrifying himself. There was nothing so fierce and so terrible as the mighty dragon. There he is. Look who he's captured. But the dragon had a secret. A big secret. Well, actually, a very small secret. He was terrified of mice. Well, that wasn't what I guessed. Look at that tiny mouse. I wonder why the dragon is so terrified of this tiny mouse. Well, when I was reading the story, I think Chris Wormel, the author, used some brilliant words to describe the dragon. It was really, really exciting. And I thought, wow, I wish I could write just as well as that, use those really good descriptions. So I thought we'd have a go today at writing some really lovely descriptions about characters. So let me share my screen and show you what I was thinking. One of the pages I really liked was this page here. If you look, it says he could fly higher than the clouds and faster than all the birds. And I really liked that because it didn't just say the dragon can fly high and fast. It tells us how much higher than the clouds. He compares how high he is. He's higher than the clouds and he is faster than the birds. So not just fast, faster than something else, faster than all the birds. I really like that. So today I thought we could look at similes because this writing here is actually using similes. It's when we describe comparing things. I'll show you this. It says a simile is a way of comparing two things. It often uses words like and as. So rather than just saying she cries, it says she cries like a baby. It helps you imagine what sort of crying it is. And rather than just saying she is quiet, it says she is as quiet as a mouse. It helps you imagine just how quiet she really is. Now, Chris Wormel doesn't use like and as in his, actually. He compares using than. He uses these words there. So he could fly higher than the clouds and faster than all the birds. But he is using a simile, describing something by comparing it to something else. So thinking of that adjective, thinking of that describing, so he could fly higher, high, and fast, faster, thinking of the adjective to describe. He could fly high and fast, but then thinking about higher than, or high as, or high like, or faster like, or faster as, fast as. So describing it as something else. So we're going to have a look at a few of these together today, and then I'd like you to try some on your own. So here I have a rather terrifying picture of a wolf. We looked at describing it. Now, if I described it just with adjectives, I could say the dog, this wolf character here, is big and fierce. The dog was big and fierce. Now the adjectives big it's an okay adjective. It's not too bad. Here it is, big. Could probably think of a better adjective than big, but it's not bad. And I like this word here, fierce. Means it's very scary. So the dog was big and fierce. Good adjectives. He is big. There he is. And he is fierce. Also good. But I reckon we could make it even better by using similes. So here we've had a go. So the black scruffy dog. So I've put some extra adjectives in and I've kept the word big, but rather than just writing big, I've put he was as big as a wolf, because I was thinking he does look a bit like a wolf. So it's not just a normal sized dog, he's as big as a wolf. And this is a simile. So the dog was as big as a wolf. And then I also kept my adjective fierce. So this scary adjective here, fierce, it's still there. But rather than just writing he was as big as a wolf and fierce, I've written he was fierce like a very angry bear. So I've used those words that they recommended before, the as, so as big as, and also those words like, to tell us a bit more about just how big he was or just how fierce he was. So now I'm going to have a go at looking at this mouse. I'm going to think of a simile myself, but I'm going to do it step by step. So here's the mouse from the story, that mouse that the dragon is terrified of. And I'm going to think of an adjective to describe the mouse. Now, it could be the whole of the mouse or parts of the mouse. So the first thing I think of when I think of mouse is I think that he is small. Okay, small. So I think the mouse is small. So here's my adjective, small. It's very tricky to write like this, small. Okay, and then to turn it into a simile, I'm going to think about what is the mouse as small as or small like. So here's the word small. And now I need to think of other things that are small. So what could I think of? Help me out. Tell me some things that are small. Yeah? Oh, that's a good one. Yes, okay. So I've heard some good ideas. I think I am going to type the next bit because it's a bit easier. So the mouse is my sentence. The mouse is, and I'm going to say as small as, using those similes, that as. The mouse is as small as, it was hard, you gave me lots of good ideas. But I'm going to say as small as a pin, tiny, as small as a pin. So I thought about the word small and put it in a simile. I'm then going to think of a different part of the mouse to describe a different adjective and try and turn that into a simile too. So I thought about the word small and then I added in the as to make it a simile. So the mouse is as small as a pin. Now I'm going to think of a different adjective to describe that mouse. What shall I look at next? I could describe his ears, his eyes, his whiskers, his nose, his hands, his claws, his little tiny feet, and his long tail. Oh, I think I'm going to describe that long tail. So my next sentence is he has a long tail. And I'm going to say like to turn it into a simile. So I've used that as here and like. He has a long tail like, what's his tail like? His long tail. I'm going to look at it carefully. I think I've got a good idea. Rats and mice have long tails and they're a little bit scaly, I think. And I can think of another creature that is a bit scaly and long. Reminds me a bit of a snake. So he has a long tail like a... I've had long, don't long, not like a long snake, like a... I'm going to put scary snake because I think snakes are quite scary, like a scary snake's body. I'm going to put an exclamation mark because it makes me a bit nervous, that one. He has a long tail like a scary snake's body. So I thought of my adjectives to describe. The adjectives were small and long. He had a long tail. And then I thought about using as or like to turn into a simile. The mouse is as small as a pin. He has a long tail like a scary snake's body. Then I look again at my character and I look to see one more thing I could describe about the mouse. So I'm going to describe his eyes. So what can I see about his eyes? His eyes are black. His eyes are black. So I'm going to put, the mouse is as small as a pin. He has a long tail like a scary snake's body. His black eyes are as dark as, I'm thinking of things that are dark now, as dark as a cave. I like it. As dark as a spooky cave. Spooky cave. Because I know that the dragon is quite scared of this mouse. I want him to sound a bit scary. Exclamation mark. The mouse is as small as a pin. He has a long tail like a scary snake's body. His eyes are as dark as a spooky cave. I'm quite impressed with that. So I thought of my adjectives first. Small, long, and he has black eyes. I added in some extra adjectives as I went, didn't I? Like scary and spooky and dark. But that's okay, that makes it even better. But I started with one adjective first, small, long, and black. And then I had the extra bits, the special bits that make it a simile comparison, that as and like, to compare it to something else. So that's what I want you to do today. You could use our mouse from the story. You could use our dragon from the story, or you could use another character. I've got a few that you might want to use. The big bad wolf, we had a look at him before, or the fairy and the witch and the ogre. Or you could even describe somebody you know, maybe somebody at home, a mum or a dad or a brother or a sister or a friend. If it was nice similes, you might be able to send it to them and make them smile. So the first thing you're going to do is think of an adjective to describe your character. You're going to draw your character if you want to. You don't have to though, you can just have them in your head. An adjective to describe them and use those as and like words to compare it to something else to describe it. It is a tricky challenge today, but I think you can do it. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. Okay, have a lovely day and I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.